There was a tragic inevitability to what happened today off the coast of northern France. Record numbers attempting the crossing on small boats this summer, but winter is coming and people are still trying. Today, 2 adults and 2 children died after a boat sank off the coast near Dunkirk. According to local media reports, 2 children aged 5 and 8 died along with a man and a woman. It's reported that the younger child fell into the water and that the woman who died may have been the child's mother. Some of those on board are believed to be from Iran. 15 people were taken to hospital.
Plusieurs victimes qui ont été prises en charge ici sur le quai à Lone-Plage.
We've recovered many victims here at Lune-Plage. There were 4 acute emergency cases. 3 of them died on arrival. The victims have been evacuated to hospitals in Calais and Dunkirk. Another victim, picked up by a Belgian helicopter, died on arrival to hospital in Calais. The others are suffering from hypothermia.
A large search operation took place today involving French and Belgian rescue services. The tragedy took place off the coast east of Calais near Dunkirk, in the waters just off Lune-Plage. A local official involved in the operation seemed to imply that the boat was more substantial than a dinghy.
We've taken care of all of the injured, and they've been taken to hospitals in Calais and Dunkirk. I have no explanation as to why this fishing or leisure-style boat capsized.
The issue of channel crossings has been a priority this year for the Home Secretary. This afternoon she said her thoughts and prayers were with the families involved and that she would do everything she could to stop, quote, callous criminals exploiting vulnerable people. Sentiments echoed by the new clandestine channel threat commander.
We know that this is an incredibly high-risk crossing and we're working very closely with the French to take every measure that we can to minimise the risk to migrants and completely end the viability of this route.
Claire Mosley is familiar with the migrant and refugee encampments around Dunkirk. We spoke to her from Calais this evening.
They keep saying that this is about people smugglers. This is not about people smugglers. This is about ordinary people and families that are so desperate, that are so scared.
This is the worst tragedy that's occurred involving channel crossings to the UK on boats. In the days to come, people will no doubt pore over its political implications, and everyone will have an opinion. But for today, it boils down to this and just this. 4 people, 2 of them children, members of a family, died trying to get to Britain.
Joining me now is Josie Naughton, Chief Executive of Help Refugees. People might have assumed that with the weather turning, this traffic had stopped. I mean, are a lot of people trying to make this journey still?
You know, this is just the most heartbreaking situation. And like you say, there was a sense of inevitability to this. You know, no one, let alone a child, should lose their life trying to reach safety. And what we need now is a clear rethink of UK migration policy, which puts people above politics. You know, people are living in a desperate situation in northern France, and they have fled desperate situations. And the hardening of border and the policies that the government are undertaking, as we can see, it doesn't make a difference. It just pushes vulnerable people into an even more vulnerable situation. And what we've seen today is the consequence of that.
So are you amongst those people who want asylum seekers to be able to seek asylum before they get to Britain on the French side? Because that would mean that they are in a safe country seeking asylum in another safe country.
You know, people don't have to seek asylum in the first country or the country that they are in. A lot of these people actually have a legal right to be in the UK, but they just don't have a way to access that right. And indeed, there are people who have claimed asylum in France, but they don't have access to accommodation. They're forced to still live in these camps. They're then the victim of police brutality. So there is a lot that can be done to stop this situation that we've seen today. And both the French and the British government need to take responsibility for that.
The government's approach here seems to be to target the people traffickers. And we have this threat commander who talks about migrants. You know, what is their approach achieving?
It's achieving very little, as we can see. And just last week, the government voted against attempts to protect the right of unaccompanied child asylum seekers to join their family in the UK. And all that does is push these children into situations like we're seeing today. So these measures that they're taking, we're literally seeing day by day that they don't work. So there needs to be a clear rethink.
When you say they don't work, are you saying they're having no effect? I mean, they're not slowing it down at all?
they are not slowing it down. The problem is that people aren't, there isn't this movement of people because of a system that they have put in place. People have no choice. So no, it's not working, and we're seeing an increase in numbers, and we're seeing situations like we've seen today.